Hello, I'm Micki Pistorius. Imagine if you are a member of a Neanderthal tribe and you have been ostracized for some reason. You have no longer got any access to shelter. You're exposed to the elements outside. The hunters will not share their meat with you, and the gatherers will not share their plants or their berries with you. You have to scavenge for everything that you can find. If you do find water, you have no vessel to scoop it and to drink with. You are completely exposed. You do not have access to fire or to warmth. You do not have protection of the tribe against other hostile tribes, nor against predators. On a physical level, you are completely exposed and vulnerable, and your basic survival as a human is threatened. On a psychosocial level, you are no longer part of a family. There is nobody to care for you if you are wounded or ill or old. You have no access to a shaman, traditional medicine, or healing herbs. You have no access to the oral history of your tribe or their collective wisdom. You have no purpose, for everybody in a tribe has a meaningful purpose to the collective well-being of that tribe. There is no campfire for you. You have nobody to talk to. You cannot share emotions. You cannot cry. You cannot laugh. You cannot tell stories. You cannot hug. You cannot procreate. There is no human touch. There's not even somebody that you can bicker with. Ostracism reverberates on a primal cellular level in the collective subconscious of the human psyche, triggering an existential, primitive, life-threatening fear. I will repeat that. It's important. Ostracism reverberates on a primal cellular level in the collective subconscious human psyche, as it is an existential, primitive, life-threatening fear. When the worst aggressive criminals in a prison starts acting out and they need to be controlled, they are kept in isolation cells. This also happens in the prisoner of war camps. Remember in last week's videos on Thabo Bester, I told you that he told the judge that since his escape, he's been held in a security prison in an isolation cell, and that he didn't have contact with humans for months, and he thought this was quite inhumane. Now, if an isolation cell is considered the worst punishment for an aggressive and violent criminal, then imagine what being ostracized does to the psyche of a vulnerable child. Professor Kipling Williams of the Department of Psychological Sciences at the Purdue University in Indiana, he is recognized as a world-known expert on ostracism, and he defines ostracism as any act or acts of ignoring and excluding of an individual or groups by an individual or groups, and this is without necessarily involving any physical or verbal acts of aggression. And he believes that an individual's emotions, subsequent social susceptibility, and motivations are all impacted when that person is ostracized. Now, there are three options for an individual that has been ostracized that they can react. The first one is they will try and re-enter the group through pro-social behavior. There are some of them, however, who react with aggression, and this is called the power provocation response. They can react aggressively or violently even to people who were not part of the original group. And then there are the individuals or the persons who have been chronically ostracized, and their attempts at recovery had been continuously thwarted. Now, they face extreme negative consequences, and with feelings such as alienation and depression and helplessness and total meaninglessness in their lives. Neuropsychological research focusing on the pain overlap theory shows that when humans experience social or psychological pain, it registers along the same neuropaths than physical pain does. Did you know when teenagers are ostracized, they can experience that psychological pain up to the same degree and level as third-degree burn wounds? Social pain and rejection impairs the integral, the structural integrity of your interior cingulate cortex. Now, that part of your brain is designed to enable you to form a moral code based on care and empathy for other people. Let's just reconsider this. If somebody is being ostracized continuously, the part of their brain that enables them to act with care and empathy towards other people is damaged. Now think of the long-term consequences of such an individual. Besides being ostracized, people who are regarded as not conforming to society's rules can be humiliated and shamed, as shown through the ages. We had people that were branded, people were locked in stocks and pillories, and people were generally shamed. Even as late as the 1940s, in the Second World War, the women that were considered to have collaborated with the enemy, their hair was shaven. And did you know that branding is another way of ostracizing somebody or branding them an outcast? And branding was only banished in Russia in 1983. So even in the 1950s, if a child was made to wear a dunce hat and exiled to the corner of the classroom, that also involves shaming. Now, the self-esteems of these peoples that have been exposed to chronic ostracism are broken down to a level where they feel totally worthless. Norman Simons, the station strangler that was arrested as the station strangler in Cape Town in South Africa, wrote a confession to us. And in that he said, "I am nothing, I am dirty, I am filthy, I am not worthy, and I am sorry for letting you down." The American serial killer Son of Sam, or David Berkovich, he wrote in his journal, he said, "There is no doubt in my mind that a demon has been living in me since birth. All of my life, I have been wild, violent, temporal, mean, sadistic, and acting with irrational anger and destructiveness. And then one day, they act out." Eric Harris, one of the 1999 Columbine school massacres, his last journey, entry into his journal reads, "I hate you people for leaving me out of so many fun things." And then along with Dylan Klebold, he proceeded to kill 12 students and a teacher. The question is, how do we teach our children compassion? Not to bully other children, not to mock them or make fun of them. Of those children who do not necessarily conform because they are shy, slow, or just different? Or are we allowing our children to get away with antisocial bullying behavior because we are too reluctant to guide them, too tired to set boundaries, because we are deaf to constructive criticism about our children, because we are too gentle, because we are parentally lazy to teach them to consider other people's feelings, the impact of their behavior on other people? Are we raising children who are intimidating other children who will grow up to kill them? If you are interested to know more about ostracism, its origins and research, and how it impacts on spree killers and serial killers, then please join my Patreon account. That's on the Patreon platform at Micki Pistorius. If you like these videos, please give us your thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next week when we discuss the impact of rejection on the criminal mind. Thank you for watching.